Hello guys, welcome to the ThriveBros. This is a self-improvement channel of two bros trying to improve themselves. My name is Bartek,
My name is Timek.
and today's topic will be diet. The reason why we wanted to do a video about this topic is because we had a terrible dieting habits, and probably so do you. I'm guessing you are probably not in the best shape of your life. You're not in your ideal shape. You may have a little bit too much fat on your around your belly or something, or maybe you're too skinny for your age, for your height. So that was kind of our two perspectives that we had. Mine was because I was too skinny, and I basically looked like a I looked pathetic, like not gonna lie.
Yeah, I wasn't quite the opposite, but something in between, and that's kind of worse, I feel like. Because if you're skinny, people just like kind of know you're skinny. I was like between being skinny and between being fat, and the thing is that like my upper body was mostly kind of skinny, while my lower, like from abdomen, like my stomach, was fat. So depending on how you were looking, I was both fat and skinny. And it's like you feel bad with it because you're the worst of both worlds. You know what I mean? Like you're from definition, you should be like in the middle point when it connects and you're all right. But you aren't. You're in the middle point where the worst qualities of those things are, and you just look not that good as you think you should.
Yeah, so it's the skinny fat physique, basically. Okay, so what are the downsides of bad dieting? Would you care to start?
Yeah, like those things are kind of obvious. You're not getting the nutritional value you should. For example, if you're not dieting, if you don't track your nutrition, you're going to be on a way worse side than you should. For example, you may eat not enough protein, you may eat too much fat, too much carbs. The thing that I, the things that I've just said are the most usual stuff. Like you're not getting protein because protein is like gained from meat while you're eating like I don't know chocolate, chips, Nutella, stuff like that. You're just getting carbs and fat and not even the good carbs and fat. You're getting the shit out of the toilet. Like those things are like kind of the worst, and that's why not having a diet just puts you on way worse place. You're not like if you ate some vegetables, some fruits, maybe like some meat, some eggs, those fats, those carbs, those are good for you. I wouldn't mind them, but I'm sure you aren't eating those. Like you for sure are eating like chocolate or some stuff, and that's just awful for you.
Yeah, so as Tuvek said, you are just sitting shit out of the toilet. Okay, basically, what you want to aim for is to aim real food in order to reverse this bad habits of yours. Because if you think about it, when you start eating real food, people consider you that you are on some kind of diet, but you just started eating normal food. That's how fucked up is today's society. Like people will eat chips every day, like chocolate, some other snacks, some sweets, and it's like it's very bad for you. It's processed food. It's full of sugar. Probably that's why so many people are fat nowadays. Like when you look then at American society, every two or three people are obese.
Yeah, like starting from that they only eat like fast food in America. I feel like all I know from America are fast foods, and they have even like the worst kind. Like their fast food are even more processed than ours, and ours are already really unhealthy. So like what even are they eating? So that's kind of messed up.
You probably know all the downsides. Maybe not all of them, but most of them. If you have bad dieting habits, you already know that. You know, you have the symptoms. You're a little bit too fat, or when you're going to the gym, you're not making progress because you don't have enough protein. When you eat too much carbs, it leads to having a brain fog. Like when you're fasted and you try to do some mental task, your mind is sharp. You're like focused on this one task. When you eat carbs, your mind is like wandering a little bit. You get distracted by something. Basically, your mind start to going on like 60% of your capacity, if not worse.
Yeah, and eating carbs in definition gives you energy. However, depending on what kind of carbs are you eating, if you're like eating maybe like we said before chocolate, you're getting this energy, but it's a cheap one. It isn't like eating, I don't know, a banana. This energy from carbs has the issue of not lasting that long. Like you get the energy, I don't know, for an hour or two, even if you get it for that much. After those 2 hours, you will need to eat it once again. Like that doesn't really give you that much energy, and this kind of connects to what we wanted to introduce you to, and that's our free diets that we consider really good. As we are talking about carbs, we can already start talking about a keto diet. This is a diet that mostly skips eating carbs. That's the main point of the diet. And you may be thinking like, what, if I stop eating carbs, then I won't have energy because carbs give me the energy. But that's kind of a false cycle, because if you don't eat carbs, then the fat you have stored up will make up the energy. So the first thing, you will start losing fat, which may be good for some people. People looking for ideal diets mostly want to lose fat. So this is a great point for somebody. And the second thing, you will still have a lot of energy because the consistent fat burn will give you a lot of energy. So you won't have the brain fog, as Bartek has said, and you will just stay on great energy. Like you will feel good about yourself. You won't be as tired as you would think you.
Yeah, because carbs give you this dip of energy. So basically, you eat carbs, you eat, I don't know, chocolate or even a fruit. You eat and then you feel this energy storming through your body for like an hour, and then you have this dip and you start feeling tired, a little bit sloppy.
And people, like many people, have a high sugar in their blood, like a lot of sugar in their blood. And that leads to many diseases, many other health problems. And just introducing like a keto diet, which, first of all, you don't need to omit carbs at all. Like there are some variants, you can go up to, I think, 20 grams, 30 grams, depending on what type of diet you have. Like it's best when you just skip them all, but if you can't, you're not able to. Like some foods still have some carbs in them, so yeah, like that's to be expected. But like that's such a simple diet to start with, because you're just removing one type of food from your like diet. That's mostly like breads, and like yeah, like breads, pasta, this type of stuff. And it's those aren't things you really need that much if you think about it.
Okay, so what I wanted to bring up is, because we skipped this point, a downside of bad diet, which you probably don't notice, is skin problems. Most people think that when they get acne, it's because they didn't wash their face. But actually, a poor diet that can, I mean, not can, it leads to those problems. When you have acne, when you have like premature aging, maybe not when you're 18, but when you're a little bit older, it starts to show up, and it's because of the processed food you eat.
Yeah, like it seems so funny to me. Like the girls will be like, "Oh my god, I have so much acne. I need to put up like makeup and stuff." You don't get it, and then you will go out with them or something, and they will like buy a whole bar of chocolate, eat half of it while she's like with you, like, and it's like, yeah, you're just talking that you don't want to have acne, then you take the thing that makes you acne, like you literally causes you acne, and you don't get the point. Like, why do you even talk of it? Why are you not happy with it and still do it? Like that seems funny to me. Like, if you're putting effort into not having acne and do something to have acne, like those contradict.
I'd actually argue that it's like acne is more of a guy's problem. I don't know why. Maybe because of the makeup. It
Yeah,
seems
like
that way.
I would say that it's everyone's problem, but girls just have easier with covering it up. I have a sister, and yeah, you'd notice those things.
Okay, so like changing your diet right away isn't easy. We know it from our own experiences. Every now and then we will eat a cake on a birthday party or a wedding, you know, or I don't know. So for me, it's chips is like the most, it's my favorite snack, I'd say, and I will eat it every now and then. And then a few days ago, I noticed that I have a spot, an acne on my face. It starts showing up, and then I know, man, why did I eat them? It was so not worth it.
That's kind of, I will connect it to the another of our diets, which is elimination diet. Because from what I know, you're probably eating like chips, which is like Lay's or something like that, which are like the worst. Maybe not the worst kinds of chips, but there are like 20 different things which they are made of, and 90% of them aren't even needed in those. However, sometimes if you look around the shops, not every shop has it, but there, for example, I found some chips which is like 90% potatoes, 5% salt and 5% olive oil or something like that. So that kind of connects to elimination diet. So you want to have fewer products in your product. I don't know how to.
Yeah, what you want to aim for is to go for one single ingredient product. So, for example, when you buy butter, it says 100% butter, you know, it like it's only butter. When you buy milk, there is no like sweeteners in it. It's only milk, you know.
Like if you're buying nuts, maybe peanut butter. Peanut butter, you want 100% nuts. If you're buying nuts, it's better to have them like not salted, not played around with, I would say. So like literally nuts.
Salt is good,
I
you
mean,
know. You
yeah,
don't
salt
want
is.
to eat food that when you go to the ingredient list, it says some weird chemicals and you can't even name it. You can't even imagine what does it look like.
The issue with nuts is that if you have the normal ones, yeah, they're like literally nuts. If you have the salted ones, the issue is that even though they add only salt, like they should add only salt, there are a lot more things added than there is a need to be, you know? Like it seems that the difference is just salt, but it isn't. It isn't obvious, but you have to look around for those things. Not exactly every nut has like not exactly every product will have such a big difference, but yeah, many of them do.
Okay, so back to the problem you probably have, because I have it, is when you just want to eat some snack or want to eat some certain kind of food. What helped me was that I just replaced it with something healthy. So when you have chips, I replace them with nuts. They are basically, you eat them the same way. They don't taste the same, of course, but you eat them the same way, you get similar kind of feeling. But when you eat nuts, it's actually healthy for you. It has healthy protein, healthy fat, doesn't have carbs.
Like they serve the same purpose. So, for example, if you're like watching something, for example, a film with your family, like most of the time you will be like eating chips or stuff because you are hungry, but you don't really want to eat a full meal. Nuts have like the same purpose, so you can eat them in those occasions and they are just 100% better for you.
Okay, so another point of an elimination diet is that when you are on an elimination diet, you try to aim for that you can actually count how many ingredients are in your diet. So probably right now, if you're eating normally, as average people are, you have like hundreds, if not thousands of ingredients if you're in your diet. When you go on an elimination diet, you start having single ingredients food and you eat, I don't know, eggs, meat, butter, salt, pepper, nuts, peanut butter. Well, it's kind of nuts, you know.
Yeah.
I named 8 things. When you eat only 8 ingredients, you can actually tell what food impacts your health badly.
Yeah,
So
so that's like I for example know those things from like my dad or from like my mom. So they have this stuff that after they eat it, like yeah, like my not like they get like a stomach ache or they already know the food that affects them. However, I would say that is because like they are older, but that is the issue that they got it through years of experience. However, if you go on elimination diet, you won't have to like waste a lot of time, a lot of experience trying out those things and getting to know them, because you will get to know them easily, because as Bartek has said, you will get like 8, 10, 15 products maybe. And like if you feel that maybe, I don't know, your head isn't as clear, you just remove one product or two and now it's okay, so you know that those products affect you that way. Like it's easier to pick up on those things.
Basically, you have to test food for you, because for us it may be a different food that impacts us. And for me, I don't know, I can eat apples and it doesn't dip my energy levels. It's just personal for some reason. Some vegetables will impact you in a bad way and some not, and it's very personal. So you have to just test it on yourself.
Yeah. Okay. And the last of the like best diets we have, literally the best diet we have, is carnivore diet. This is like, if you've been to school, you probably remember that once the prehistoric people started developing, they developed in two ways: veganism and carnivore. And like carnivore is just eating meat, and veganism is the opposite, eating vegetables. And that's the issue. Like after those two groups appeared, the vegans died. They died out, and the carnivores started becoming the main group. So why are they coming back now? Yeah, carnivore diet consists of you only eating like animal products, so like meat, eggs, and stuff. And that's like the extreme, like it's the best for you. So, but if you're eating still like some vegetables on a normal diet, that's no problem. However, veganism is the other way around. You're not eating meat, you're not getting the good protein. There are some vitamins you can't even get from the food you're eating. As we've talked before, it has a lot of carbs, so you're always low on energy. Why? Why even try it? And carnivore is the exact opposite. You're getting the good types of protein. There are some issues with lacking nutrients, but they are not as important as those that you miss out on vegan diet. You're always full on energy. There are so many things you can eat on carnivore diet, and while you're eating on carnivore diet, it's like an extended version of keto diet. So you're still losing fat really fast because you're not eating that many carbs, if any at all. So I don't know, like why people go on on the vegan diet. Like it just seems so funny if you look from it on biological standpoint. Like two groups appeared, and carnivores, they live still. That's the group we evolved from. And vegans died. You don't see the parallel lines that appear. Like that's so funny.
Yeah, so we obviously have to save cows, and you are just spreading some weird conspiracy theories.
The issue with carnivore diets, I would say, is that it is the hardest one to start with. Like, you just skip like 90% of things you're currently eating. Like, you leave out only like the meat, the eggs, sometimes maybe some dairy products. Like, it depends. But yeah, like, if I were to, because I'm not currently on carnivore diet, if I were to start my, for example, my breakfast would decrease in half. My dinner would be mostly alright, I would say, and like my supper would also decrease by like more than a half, because there are so many like the best life products that you're eating, that if you go on a particularly good diet like the carnivore diet we discussed, you don't miss out on those products after some time, because they aren't just as good for you as you think they are.
Yeah, so the difference between carnivore diet and vegan diet is when you Google carnivore diet, I don't know, transformation, you see a fat guy or a guy with acne, and then a peak, like literally peak healthy guy. Then you go vegan, and it's like vegans just look so weak, you know?
I mean,
They don't have this power in them.
I I don't think I've seen like met or someone that is on a vegan diet and looks like a peak of human evolution, like a peak on their life. Like if you look at like vegan activists, 90% of time there are girls, like that's one thing, but the guys that are in vegan cultures are like the skinny guys. They're like really tall, skinny guys, like the skinwalkers. And it's just, if you look on those people, that they are fighting for not eating animal food, animal meat, and they are not looking good themselves, why would they bring you to their side, you know? Like, why would you even consider that this person who looks on like they are on the verge of dying has a good diet?
I know that Jordan Peterson is on carnivore diet and his daughter also, and they are like, I don't know, for 20 years on this carnivore diet. And they, maybe not Jordan Peterson because he's not the most muscular guy, but if you look at his daughter, she looks like literally peak human health. I don't mean she's like hot or something. She looks healthy. Okay? She looks healthy.
I mean, the thing is that if you're eating vegan, yeah, like I heard that there are some like athletes who do that, and you can get a good physique with vegan. However, you're working much more than you should. Like you're getting a worse type of protein, less protein. Like you will, the fact that most of like the plant-based food doesn't have a lot of calories, so you're eating more, but you're gaining less. And like the only one on the top of my head I can think of that actually is really caloric and is pretty good is nuts, but you're not going to have nuts on every part of your dish. You're not going to have them on breakfast, dinner and supper. Like they are not just this type of food, and it just makes you work so much more to achieve the same stuff that some diets let you achieve so much easier.
Okay, so to wrap it up, top three diets: third place keto, second place elimination diet, and first place carnivore. Okay, so in the next point, I'd actually share our diets, you know, because how do we diet? How our day looks like? So for me, it's always when I wake up, I do my fast, I do my work, then I go eat breakfast. It's always 4 to 6 eggs. I add salt, I add pepper, and I add hot sauce just for some taste. And then I eat dinner. It's mostly meat with some vegetables. And I don't really eat anything then, like after. If anything, I will like eat some nuts, but it's not like a proper meal.
Yeah, okay. So I don't really have a particular diet. Like I would have the closest one I have would be probably the elimination one. So like the fact I'm still going to school, so I'm not really able to eat breakfast early in the morning, not always at least. So mostly I do like breakfast to school, which is mostly like I do like 3 or 5 ingredients, and that's like I do a normal sandwich, which is like just bread, some like ham, maybe some like bacon or something, and the other type is which is like peanut butter and jam. Those two are of course like 100% fruit or 100% peanuts, so like the normal healthy stuff. The dinner is mostly similar to yours, which is like meat and some vegetables, and supper depending on the time, because sometimes I do similarly to you that I don't really eat that much. But if I'm still hungry, I would eat probably something similar to your breakfast, which is like 4 or 5 eggs, maybe like some bacon or something to add to it. So yeah, just simple stuff, lots of protein, not that many carbs. The only things you need.
Okay, so you mentioned bread. Bread is a weird thing because this is very personal because it's kind of processed food and not even kind of has carbs, but for some people it works perfectly fine, and it also depends of what kind of bread you eat probably.
Yeah, I mean, like I have a bakery nearby, so that's mostly the kind of bread I eat. Like the thing with bread is, if you eat bread, you should eat like the dark type of bread with sometimes it has sunflower seeds in it or something like that. So those types of bread are just better mostly for you. And yeah, I eat. The issue with bread is that I eat it because like that's the easiest and fastest to make early in the morning. Because yeah, like if I need to go to school, I mostly need to do some fast breakfast, and if I have a good bread, then I have no issue. Sometimes I make like I don't no I but my sister does oatmeal, and and she shares it with me, so like I take it to school. So depending on the days, like the breakfast changes.
Okay, so I eat bread sometimes as well, but I basically my mom bakes bread, not always, but sometimes, and I only eat her bread because she literally adds 3 ingredients. So flavor,
Flour.
flour. So she adds flour, she adds some wheat, and I don't know, salt or something like that. So free ingredients. And I actually want to, because you said you eat oatmeal sometimes.
Sometimes, but first of all, I have the same thing. Like your mom, I think she does bread in like the cooking machine, like the Thermomix or
Yeah,
something like
yeah.
that. So my sister does oatmeal in that too. So yeah, it's like I think it's like mostly oats, some milk, I think, or something like that, and peanut butter. I don't exactly know what oatmeal is made with. But yeah, it's made using this. It's not like oatmeal you bought in the shop, because sometimes there are like ones you can like heat up and eat. Also, talking of milk, yeah, there are some types of milk that isn't good for you, I would say. Like, so not explaining myself, but like my father some time ago, like a few days ago, bought milk which is like was in a bottle that a milkman will like give you, you know? And so like right now most milk is like in cardboard boxes. However, many years ago, there would be like milkmen selling milk, and it would be like in glass bottles, and it just feels so much better, even though I'm not sure if it's better. But yeah.
That's so cool. The thing with milk is that it can be estrogenic sometimes, because what happens is when a cow is pregnant, operations will still milk them. So this milk, when a cow was pregnant while she was getting milked, the milk will be estrogenic because she had a lot of estrogen in its body. That's not the issue with the milk you have, probably, because like normal farmers don't do such things, but big corporations tend to do that, and that's why you have to really be aware.
Yeah, like even though I'm pretty sure like this milk I have is better than the ones I used to have, I still don't use it that much. Like I don't have a need for it that much. So if there is no need for it, then better safe than sorry.
Also, always go for whole milk, like full fat, because when milk is has half the fat it's supposed to be, it probably was processed or some chemical stuff was done on it, so it has less fat. It's very not healthy for you.
So, in conclusion, like even not discussing the diets exactly, you should just eat the normal type of food, like one ingredient foods. Maybe mostly skip on things like snacks, which are like those things sometimes have like 30 ingredients by themselves. And like if you have a chocolate bar, those chocolate bars are like 30% chocolate, I think. 30% of what chocolate is supposed to be made of.
Cocoa beans.
Sometimes less, maybe, yeah, cocoa beans. Sometimes more, sometimes less. And the rest of it is just additives, chemicals. So you should skip on those things. If you need to eat chocolate, eat dark chocolate. Like those are better, not good, but better. In some ways they are good, but in some others, of course, not. If you're able to, maybe start some of the diets we've discussed, because those are really good, or just come close to some of them. So for example, if you're trying to start, maybe start with like keto or elimination. Keto, you can start with maybe having some like still some carbs in your diet. Like I've said, they sometimes allow to like up to 20, 30, or even 50 of them, like because carbs, there are a lot of carbs in your food. And maybe elimination, so just having simple foods, less ingredients.
Okay, so basically being fat is a choice and stay a lifelong student. Bye.
Yeah.